Hey there, it's Leslie at Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and if you're going to catch them all, you're going to need a Pokeball car, right? So that's what I'm going to make today. So I'm using a tip from a piping bag to sketch out some circles for the tires. And the cookie cutter I used is the Wilton Race Car Cookie. So if you want to bake these along with me, grab that cookie cutter and let's make some Pokemon cars. So I started by outlining the tires with a white royal icing in a 15-second consistency, and I'm just going to fill in the bottom half here because I want them to look like little Pokeballs. And I'll use my scribe, or you can use a toothpick, to shape the icing and to settle it down and make it smooth. Then I'm going to immediately grab my red icing and outline the top half of the wheel again and flood that in. When this dries, it will be one solid surface with no separation between the white and the red icing. This is a wet on wet technique. And once again, I'll use my scribe to settle the icing down, being careful not to disturb the white icing. And then I'll immediately take my black icing and make a stripe across the middle. And when they dry, I will go back and add a center circle to those tires. And now I'm just going to move up to the window. I'm going to use my white icing to outline the window and put a squiggle in the middle, and I'm just going to paint that on so that it's in the background, and then I'll use some glitter spray to give it a metallic sparkle and shine. It might have been cool if I had done the window in black so it was a tinted look, but this is how I did it. And now I'm going to outline the top of the car with a red royal icing, and I'll flood that in. My royal icings are all about a 15-second consistency. And I'll use my scribe to settle the icing down and get it smooth and pop any air bubbles. I really want to make sure that the icing above the window gets down and touches the cookie so that I don't get craters. And I let that red icing and the wheels dry for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to go back in and flood the rest of the cookie with the white royal icing. I did pop the cookie in a dehydrator to dry for a little bit, so if you don't have a dehydrator, you might want to let your cookie dry a little longer so the red icing doesn't bleed into the white. And I set it aside to dry again for about another 15-20 minutes, and now I just am going to make a black stripe across the car. And then I want to make a fin over here, so I'll just take my red icing and outline a triangle and flood that in, using my scribe to shape the icing and settle it down. And I'll let that dry for a little bit before I go back in and add the black icing to hold the fin up. So I let my cookie dry overnight, and now I'm just going to go in and add in the black button that's in the center of all the Pokeballs, and I'll add it to the middle of the car and also to the wheels. And one last final step is to add the fenders. I'm going to make them red because that way they won't obscure the top of the Pokeball. And once the black icing had dried completely, I used some white luster dust from the Sugar Art and color solution, and I'm just going to paint a white center to the center of those black buttons. I'll leave a link in the description for all of the products I used. And these Pokeball cars are done, and now we're ready to catch them all. If you didn't catch the rest of the series, I'll leave a link in the description. Be sure to check them out. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks.